Hi, my name is Marianapolis, and in my presentation, Secure Communities versus Doors and Windows, an evaluation of strengths and weaknesses, I will be examining the articles by Miles and Cox and Kondo et al. In Miles and Cox's 2014 article, Does Immigration Enforcement Reduce Crime? Evidence from Secure Communities, the authors focus on the big problem of evaluating the effectiveness of deportation as a crime control strategy. They ask the specific question: does the Secure Communities program effectively reduce crime rates by incapacitating non-citizen offenders? In this study, the authors utilized monthly county-level detainee data of nearly 3,000 counties across the U.S. obtained through the Freedom of Information Act requests from 2004 to 2012, balancing the years before and after the Secure Communities launch in 2008. More specifically, they used the FBI Uniform Crime Reporting Index crimes data, including violent and property offenses. They also used county characteristics, including demographics, such as population density, fraction foreign-born, fraction black, and fraction Hispanic, among others, as seen in Table 1. The program's intensity through measures of the program's implementation were also utilized, as seen in Figure 3. The authors employed a differences in differences approach to compare crime rates across nearly 3,000 U.S. counties before and after implementing Secure Communities. The authors' findings show that Secure Communities has had no significant impact on overall crime rates, including both violent and property crimes. Figure 6 highlights the program's effects on specific crimes like homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assault, and simple assault, revealing no measurable reduction. This suggests that detaining and deporting immigrants does not effectively lower crime rates. Ultimately, these findings challenge the belief that immigration enforcement reduces crime, demonstrating that deportation is not an effective crime control strategy, and the Secure Communities program does not contribute to public safety. The strengths that make this article compelling are its large data pool of nearly 3,000 counties across the U.S. This strengthens the validity and generalizability of these findings, meaning these findings can more confidently be utilized and more generally applied. Its rigorous empirical analysis, because it uses a differences in differences approach, which is a robust statistical method that allows the authors to isolate the effects of the Secure Communities program on crime rates. Its use of government data, particularly county-level detainee data and crime statistics, because it ensures transparency and reliability, thereby strengthening its findings and conclusions. Lastly, it challenges the widely held belief that aggressive immigration enforcement leads to crime reduction. By showing no measurable effect on crime rate, policymakers and the public are forced to reconsider the effectiveness of the Secure Communities program. In the 2015 Kondo et al. Article, A Difference in Differences Study of the Effects of a New Abandoned Building Remediation Strategy on Safety, the big problem examined is the issue of urban decay and its impact on crime, particularly in relation to the broken windows theory. More specifically, it addresses the question: does remediating abandoned buildings by installing functional doors and windows have a measurable impact on reducing crime rates in surrounding areas? In this study, the authors used data from the Philadelphia Department of Licenses and Inspections on 2,356 building violations, including details on locations, compliance dates, and renovation permits. Crime data from the Philadelphia Police Department covering 14 crime categories between 2011 and 2013, and demographic data from the U.S. Census Bureau, including factors like poverty levels, education, and median income. Looking at what was done with this data, The authors used mapping tools to calculate demographic measures and crime outcomes around each building. They also used kernel density estimation method to create crime maps that show where crime is more or less concentrated, giving higher values to areas with more nearby crime incidents. Additionally, they used inverse distance weighted measures to interpolate crime and demographic data at each study site. Lastly, they used a difference in differences approach to compare crime rates before and after building remediation, controlling for external factors. The authors found that between January 2011 and April 2013, 29% of cited buildings, 676 out of 2,356 in Philadelphia, complied with the Doors and Windows Ordinance, leading to significant reductions in most crime categories citywide. Remediation efforts resulted in 8 fewer assaults, 10 fewer gun assaults, and 5 fewer nuisance crimes per year in areas surrounding compliant buildings. Across multiple city sections, renovation permits were associated with significant declines in total crime, violent gun crimes, narcotics offenses, and property crimes, with the largest decrease being in gun assaults, with 6 fewer citywide and 5 fewer in South Philadelphia over 1 year. However, there were increases in property crimes and narcotics-related offenses. These findings ultimately support the broken windows theory, suggesting that maintaining the physical condition of buildings can reduce criminal activity. This paper provides empirical evidence that relatively low-cost interventions, such as installing functional doors and windows on abandoned buildings, can lead to significant reductions in certain types of crime, enhancing public safety in urban neighborhoods. The weaknesses of this article that make it the least compelling are as follows. First, this study's findings cannot be generalized, as this study is focused only on the city of Philadelphia. Similar policies might not work in other cities with different crime patterns, housing conditions, or enforcement strategies. Second, remediation effects did lead to reductions in some crimes, but they also coincided with increases in property crimes and narcotics-related offenses. Additionally, the effects varied by location, with some areas showing reductions, while others saw no change, or even increases in crime. These mixed and inconsistent results weaken the overall impact of its findings, raising questions about unintended consequences, such as, could this be crime displacement rather than crime reduction? This area of crime displacement isn't really explored in this study. Third, its short evaluation period, as it only covers the time period from 2011 to 2013 and does not examine whether the observed crime reductions persisted over time, which is important to consider for policy decisions. Potential bias in building selection is also a weakness of this study. This paper does not fully account for why certain buildings complied with ordinance while others did not. If more stable and economically improving neighborhoods were more likely to comply, the reductions in crime could be due to pre-existing neighborhood trends, rather than the remediation itself. Ultimately, while the Doors and Windows study provides interesting insights into crime reduction strategies, its limitations, limited applicability, mixed and inconsistent results, short evaluation period, and potential bias in building selection make it less compelling than the Secure Communities paper, the strengths of which large data pool, rigorous empirical analysis, use of government data, and challenging of policy assumptions make this study the most compelling.